In this video, I wanted to talk you through a little bit of maintenance for the MakerBot Replicator 2. This is a part that I just finished printing. It's a motor mount for a mini quadcopter project I've been working on, and during the process it took quite a few prints to get it going. So the extruder was jamming, and during the print there was a lot of squeaking. And to address the squeaking, I want to talk you through lubricating this Z-axis threaded rod, as well as lubricating this X-axis idler pulley. This is actually the top left side of your MakerBot Replicator 2. And to address the problem with the PLA not extruding, we'll detach the motor from the extruder assembly and clean the drive gear. Now, I actually have a spring-loaded drive gear assembly on order from MakerBot. It was like a $7 part, but it's been over 6 weeks since I ordered that and still haven't received it. Now I know you can print it on Thingiverse, but I still need to get the spring and the whole assembly, so I figured I'd get the kit, and I'll be doing that upgrade soon. According to the MakerBot manual, you normally need to do this type of maintenance at the 50-hour mark. And so I'm going to take a look at our bot statistics, and we're at 43 hours, so pretty close to that. But now that I'm squeaking and the extruder is having problems, we're going to go ahead and do this maintenance. So for starters, I'm going to go ahead and push our build platform down, take a little bit of the grease provided by MakerBot, put it on my finger, and then apply it to the rod. Make sure you get it in the grooves of this threaded rod. And now we'll move the plate up so that we can get the bottom half. And we'll bring this build plate back down. Let's take a look at the X-axis idler pulley. Okay, once again, this is the top left side of our MakerBot, and you can actually slide this pulley to the left, and we'll just dab a little grease on. And once you get the grease on, you can push this over, and let's put some on the other side. And keep in mind, you don't have to get it all the way around the rod. As long as you have a good amount applied, the next time you do a print, this pulley will spin and get the lube on the rest of the rod. So I'm going to go ahead and push it back. Let's go back and forth for a second. Now our X-axis idler pulley is lubed. And you may be wondering, as I did, what would happen, if this thing were offset. Well, I'm going to actually move the extruder, and you'll see that that pulley has just slid right back into place. Now that we have our Replicator 2 lubricated, we're going to move on to cleaning the drive gear. But before we do, we need to make sure to unload the filament from the extruder assembly. Okay, our extruder is heated up, ready to unload the filament. Okay, our filament, or our PLA, is unloaded. Okay, before we proceed, we need to make sure to turn the MakerBot off and let the extruder cool down. And I'm going to go ahead and unplug the MakerBot from the wall just to be safe. The one tool we're going to need is this 2.5mm hex key that's supplied with your Replicator 2. And using this hex key, we'll go ahead and unscrew the two hex bolts that attach the fan to the extruder assembly. Now keep in mind, these bolts are really long, so just, be patient. So I've got those undone. I'm just gonna try to keep this in one piece. Okay, now we're going to unclip the motor wires. And now that we've taken off the 2 bolts and unclipped the motor, it should just slide right out like this. And you'll see the drive gear, it's actually really clean. You know, I can see a little bit of green filament PLA on there. So I'm going to go ahead and use a brush to clean it. And I'm just going to clean out the dried up PLA. It's coming out pretty easily. It's, you know, dried and crusty in there, so it shouldn't be a big task to get it out. And let me just point one more thing out real quick before we put the motor back on. If you've ever tightened your plunger, this is where you go to do it, and it pushes through on this side. There's a little plunger. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. It's right in there, but what it does is it pushes the PLA up against the drive gear, and so you tighten that down to get a little bit more tension, and I've done that before and it helped a good bit. But as I mentioned earlier, I've ordered the spring-loaded assembly from MakerBot. You replace this and it's spring-loaded, so it's kind of a dynamic tension that pushes up against this drive gear, so I'm pretty excited about getting that. I'll do a follow-up video that shows the replacement of that part. So we're going to put our motor back in place, plug it back in, and now we're going to screw the fan assembly back on. We're going to power back up and load our filament. We're ready to load. As we push it in, we should feel that gear assembly start to pull it. And now we can see that we're extruding, so at least I didn't botch that part of it up, you know, getting the gear assembly put back together. Okay, so we're printing, and I don't know if you can tell, but we're going to print another one of these so I can finish up the next quadcopter frame. So that was my first go at MakerBot Replicator 2 maintenance. I don't hear any squeaking, and we're extruding, so I guess that's good. And stay tuned for the update on the spring-loaded gear assembly. I've read that that's a great upgrade and has good results. So that's it for now. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below, and I hope this was useful. Thanks for watching.